Hello, my lovely, compassionate people. Welcome to Nurturing Compassion. I can't believe that it is already 2019. People are really in the zone of bettering themselves, and I think that that's a really positive energy to be feeding off of. Today, I'm going to be talking about the ways in which minimalism has improved my life, as well as providing some tips. If you're interested in minimalism or are just interested in feeling more content in your life, then this video is for you. I started minimalism in 2017. It was the summer, going into my junior year of college. Basically, I came back from this 5-week kayaking and camping trip that just completely shifted my perspective on so many things. It sparked this interest in me because for 5 weeks, for 3 of those weeks, for 3 of those weeks, I was basically living out of a bag that was kept in a van. For 1 week, I was living just out of what I could keep in the trunk of a kayak with one other person. We had to fit all our stuff into this little screw top, as well as food and snacks, so someone had to be sticking the snacks and the food in the kayak with their stuff. After this trip, I really learned that I don't need much at all. I left that trip thinking, why do I have all these things? I just spent 4 weeks without 98% of my possessions, and I feel so good. It was the happiest that I'd ever been since I started my adult life. I just got home and felt so overwhelmed by all of the possessions that I had. I began doing some research into this thing called minimalism. And what I found was that minimalism does not mean that I need to get rid of everything that I own and live out of a backpack. It just means that you get rid of the things that don't bring you joy, that you don't use, you don't need, that just seem to be taking up space and collecting dust. Definitely had sort of an outlook like sometimes where I would feel bad about getting rid of something for various reasons. Something that really helped me overcome this feeling of having to hold on to so much was Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She kind of gives stuff like this entity and acknowledges the energy that resides within our possessions. She kind of explains it as when you give something up, when you either throw it away or donate it, you are letting go of that energy, and that energy can then come back to you in another form that can serve you, because ultimately the energy that is within our stuff is trying to serve us. And when it sits and it collects dust, we are holding on to that energy and it can't come to us in different ways. So that really helped me a lot, and also just this very respectful and deliberate way of letting go of your possessions, in the sense that you say thank you to that possession for serving you or for teaching you that you don't need it or that you don't want it or that it's something that doesn't suit you, and saying see you later, because it will come back to you in the form of other energy. That, as well as a few other books that I will link down below, were very, very instrumental in helping me understand what minimalism is and how I want to go about it. It actually became fun, almost like a challenge, like, oh, what can I get rid of now? And I remember sitting at work and being like, maybe I will get rid of that. Oh, and I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. I would go to bed at night and literally be decluttering in my head. I became obsessed. I thought that minimalism was the coolest thing. All I wanted to do was declutter. I just wished that I didn't have to work so that I could stay home and declutter and reorganize, because I was just visualizing this room, how it had all this space for me to do all that I wanted to do. And in fact, it is this room right here. To you viewers, this may look like, well, this isn't a very minimalistic room. You still have a lot of stuff, girl. What are you doing? To me, I had so many things. See, in high school, I was so much of just obsessed with holding on to memories. So my room was covered in stuff, basically. And I used to say that my walls are my canvas. And I think that that was a really cool and special period in my life, because my room was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. See if I can find a photo and put it in this video. But it was a lot. And to me, there was a time where it was like, the more stuff, the cozier and nicer my room feels. And it reminds me of all of these memories that I have. And it was so colorful and special. But After I embarked on my minimalism journey, I was like, no, I've held on to these for a few years and I feel like the memory has served me. I'm ready to let it go. It's already kind of like that in the sense that when the room would fill up, it was like, okay, well, I've held on to this dried rose for a year. I remember my homecoming. That's so special. I'm ready to let that move on so that I could make room for something else. But minimalism really set off a whole new way of thinking about that and approaching it. Something that I really made a big dent in was clothing. When I was in high school, I was very overweight. I lost 40 pounds going into my junior year of high school, and so I had a whole lot of clothes that didn't fit me anymore. Now, some of those clothes I would donate, and some of them I held on to because I thought that I still really liked them. So there was a whole lot of decluttering that needed to go on in my closet, and I did that. I got rid of so many clothes. Another thing from Marie Kondo's book that I love is how she talks about how a person's closet has so much potential, but we shove it with clothes. We shove it with clothes so we can't even find the clothes that are in there. If you look at my closet now, I have an entire dresser in there, and that is where almost all my clothes are. I just have a few things hanging up. Because of that, I have room for all my shoes in there. I have some other storage bins in there, and it's so awesome. I love my closet. I see it as just like an entire part of my room rather than having to shut it closed and nobody look at my messy closet. I found a charity that really meant a lot to me. It's a place called Wagon Tails. It's a thrift shop that is nonprofit, and it donates all the money that it makes to the Humane Society, which just aligned with me so strongly. Any things that I wanted to get rid of, I would put in a box, in a bag, and drive it over to Wagon Tails. Anything that was like a towel or linens or, old Charlie stuff from when he was a puppy, I would put that in a separate bag and drive that over to the Humane Society. I have done 5 or 6 carloads full of stuff that I took to Wagon Tails. I had an absurd amount of stuff, people. I did not get rid of much. If I didn't want stuff when I was 12 or 13, I distinctly remember putting together a box, just throwing stuff in the box and putting it in my attic. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I found these boxes and I'm just like, I don't even have the patience to go through this stuff because it was just junk, all just thrown in the box willy-nilly. A lot of it I just would honestly throw away because I was like, this is overwhelming. I don't want to think about these middle school times. I got rid of so much stuff. I think that that's a really important part of embarking on your minimalist journey is just finding a charity that you believe in and that really aligns with you and your values, because sometimes when it was difficult to give something up, it would be like, well, if I give this up, especially since it's pretty nice, but I don't use it, it's gonna help an animal in need. And that to me is more important than me holding on to this just because I think that it's nice, but I don't use it. Once I decluttered so much stuff, it was kind of funny because my room was really out of sorts. Nothing was really in its place. I tried, reorganizing some stuff, but one day I decided, well, you know what? I don't even want some of this furniture. My sister just got a new apartment. Some of it was her old furniture. So I called her and I said, hey, I have your chest of drawers. I have your night table. Would you want it? And she was so happy. She was like, yes, oh my gosh, really? I would love that. It will look so good in my new apartment. Thank you so, so much. That's when I knew that, yeah, okay, it's time to just take everything out of my room and only bring in what is important. And that act made me get rid of a whole lot more stuff because I took everything out and one at a time things would come in, and whatever was left at the end was like, oh, I guess this stuff isn't things that I need either. And so that stuff all got donated, and my sister was so happy with furniture, and I all of a sudden had just so much of a bigger space in my room. That is how I have the room that I have today. This amount of things on the wall is perfect for me right now because I certainly do like a lot of stuff on the walls. I definitely still do resonate with the idea of using your wall as a way to remember the memories that you have that are meaningful to you. But basically, I'm showing you my room and telling you my story because I want you to know minimalism looks different for everyone, and it's something that doesn't happen overnight. Part of the beauty of minimalism is the journey and the process and the growth that you experience when you learn to let go and when you learn to see possessions as just things. They aren't really what matter. And that minimalism doesn't have to look like a cookie cutter thing. It is whatever you want it to be, whatever makes you happy. I think that it also fluctuates at different parts of your life. I still declutter. I always have a donation box out, let's just say that. And if I find things that I don't really want anymore, then it's always there. But it's not this consistent every single day, day in and day out, thinking about decluttering, wanting to declutter, decluttering more and cleaning. Because I definitely last winter did get into kind of a funk about it. I had taken everything out, put everything back, everything was the way I wanted it to be. And then I felt like something was missing. I felt like I had to keep going. And if I wasn't decluttering, I didn't know what to do with myself, and it would make me kind of sad. And so I reflected on that a lot. And what I found is that it can't be just a competition. It needs to be about you and just getting rid of stuff so that stuff doesn't rule your life, so that you have more time to do the things that you really want to do and to hang out with the people that you love. In a way, I got to the point where I was just so engulfed with decluttering that it was still about the stuff. But when I had that realization, I was able to come back and actually start focusing on other things that matter a lot to me rather than just decluttering. Because when you let go and it becomes actually not about the stuff, that's when the magic happens. I certainly believe that everything that you let go does come back to you. I've seen so many awesome things happen to me, like these awesome random occurrences and things coming back to me, like exactly what I'm looking for, exactly what I wanted. It just falls into my lap so easily. I just think about the fact that it's all the things that I let go coming back to me in different forms. I hope that this was inspirational to you and that it made you excited to embark on your own minimalism journey. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know if you have any questions about minimalist living, because I'm happy to help. This is something that I'm really passionate about. Also, check out my website, www.nurturingcompassion.net. I share a lot of these ideas plus more about minimalism. If you like my content and you like to hear me speak in front of a camera and pretend that there are people listening to me, then please do hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in our next video. Bye!